Good morning, everybody. So we're going to look at older devices. Mainly one, but depending on how things work out, I'm going to start looking at some older ones that have already been released that I just haven't shown on the channel. And I mean, I got some older emulation handhelds on the way. I mean, like day one stuff here. Now, a few reasons. One, because you never know. You know, someone might go looking, pull up websites, see this thing, and go, wow, that's cool, and pick it up. And since it's not really a newer thing, you know, stuff like this gets forgotten. All right? So I like to kind of bring it back a little bit, you know what I mean? Also, with the shipping stuff and the tariff thing, you know what I mean? Some places have a U.S. warehouse, and they're going to have older stock that they could still sell you. So you might get limited if you're looking for a newer handheld. It's going to be difficult, so you might grab something new to you, but, you know, kind of old when it comes to handhelds. So I seen this sitting on a shelf at my sponsor's house. I grabbed it, was like, you know what? I'll slap together a video for this guy. So this is the Pal Kitty RK2023. This came out a couple years back. Quality, you know, when it shipped, like right around the edge of certain things had, you know, kind of damaged, like little dents and stuff, and you could see it. I'm trying to tilt it. You see that? Came out the box like that. It's way overpriced. When they released this, it was overpriced the day they released it. It wasn't good enough of a handheld to merit an $80 price tag. And I'm sure you can find it other places for a little cheaper, but it's not worth it. And you know how these companies do. They'll never discount, like actually discount their old supply. So things like this will sit in a warehouse for the next couple decades and never go on sale, because they would rather get their $80 for it than put it on sale for $50 and sell the rest of it. You know, they don't like losing money. They don't like losing a single dollar. So, yeah, that's just kind of the case. And here's the page for it. So you got the RK2023 retro handheld game console, 3.5 inch, 4x3 IPS, RK3566, dual speaker, stereo, children's gift. That is a real accurate depiction there on a children's gift. This is not a handheld I would buy and keep for myself. Other specs, 640 by 480. I mean, realistically, we're still getting a lot of handhelds released with a resolution like this, with these specs. I mean, the handheld itself is older, but what's in it is still being used on brand new handhelds today. And we even got LPDDR4, 1 gig of RAM. Yeah, it's just one, but it's all you need for handhelds like this. Let's see, an ARM, 4-core, 1.8. Anything else worth? 4x3 HD 640 by 480 LCD, whatever. Runs perfectly at 60 hertz. Size, who gives a shit? So, here you are. It comes in this black and blue. It comes in white. They also did another model later, and I can't remember the difference with that. Maybe built-in Wi-Fi. I don't remember. Same price, but it was an all-black model. There was no blue accents to it. I think it was even, at one point, the black 20. I don't know. This thing might die on us, but we're going to kind of do a quick overview of the handheld here. You got both your SD card slots. You got your OTG, so your on-the-go port, your charging port, your 3.5, speakers right down here, down firing. Nothing on the sides, but you get that like rounded PSP feel to it. On the top, HDMI, power, reset, volume. Nothing really on the back. These are not grips. I'm not ever going to count that as grips. That's just design. That doesn't help with anything. So yeah, you get the rounded sides, nice flat little top. You can stand it up. Now, one of the worst things about this device is the D-pad. This D-pad was a ported design choice. And remember, I said this handheld's only a couple years old. Like, if this was actual, like, 5, 6, 7 years back, you know, this D-pad would still suck. But anyway, it's not that old, and you get this type of D-pad. I found it to be kind of sharp. So playing fighting games, you know, getting that motion between these, the edges on this thing will start to really eat at your fingers. Which, yeah, not good for that. Now, the sticks, Switch style, you know, they're a little bit recessed in there. Once again, with something like this, I feel like I'm getting about 85 to 90% motion with it. I don't need a little app to tell me that. And also, for how lightly used this has been, the right stick is looser than the left, which is odd because the left would get more use. So, other than that, the buttons, you know, they're older Pow Kitty buttons. They kind of got this weird matte, cheap feel to them. They're not bad. They're just not that great for an $80 handheld. So let's jump into some stuff here. Let's get some gameplay going. Now, there wasn't a game card in this, so I haven't really tested any games, but I just, you know, threw some random shit on it to test it out. I actually didn't look at BIOS or anything like that. Also, volume up is on the left, volume down is on the right. That is bass-ackwards. Nice little Nintendo action here. It's nice that the stick's mapped. I'm really bad at this game. Also playing through a camera, so. Nice little slowdown when everything comes on the screen, and I'm dead. Oh, holy shit. That's small. Okay. I was like right up on it. What's up, everybody? Look at me looking like shit today. Sorry, I got the hat on backwards. That way I can see. Because, you know, I don't wear it like that, but it gets in the way when I'm looking. Or when I'm shooting videos, it's like the bill keeps... Anyway, I wear a hat because I'm too lazy to get up and actually, like, do anything with my long-ass hair that I never had in my life. Normally do the shaved head thing. I know I've mentioned that a few times, but it kind of bugs me. My wife likes it, but it drives me crazy. Let's just do some Tetris here. There we go. I seen that on a handheld yesterday, so why not try some Tetris? I prefer when it does the grayscale, or, you know, this black and white instead of that green, that traditional green. I prefer the grayscale color. But that's because my first handheld ever was a Game Boy Pocket, which is still the best handheld ever. So there we go, a handheld that can play Tetris. Look at this. Amazing. Alright, I don't give a shit about that enough. Oh man, not this again. I'm gonna get all close with you guys again. Hold on. I know I could probably like exit with a button combo, but I get set in the way I do things, so leave me the hell alone. You know what? This wouldn't be too bad of a Super Nintendo handheld. Like, it makes me almost want to break it down, like pull it apart and paint it myself and do like a gray shell and do like, you know, a two-tone like Super Nintendo color here, and then do the like purple buttons and light purple buttons here. Maybe do gray and like that light purple or darker purple here, or two different shades of gray. Because I mean, you also get, it's also kind of reminds me of a Super Nintendo controller. You know, not exactly, and there's absolutely anbernic has already made the handhelds in the shape of a Super Nintendo controller, but it still reminds me of that a little bit. So, considering with the specs on this, it'll play some PSP, but it's not going to be really enjoyable. I don't even think I threw PSP on here. Let's find something to throw at it. I would turn on Chrono Trigger, but I'm just going to listen to the music and reminisce, and because I love Chrono Trigger. that's a good one. But I think it'd be pretty cool to break this down and paint it myself and make it look like a little Super Nintendo. Can't do nothing about that because it's on the screen, but make it the RK2023 Super Nintendo edition. Wonder if I can delete the buttons out, just pull those off, 3D print something to go in its place, and just have L1, R1. Match it to a Super Nintendo. There you go, camera. Do whatever you want with the autofocus. We already know you will. I don't know why I'm picking through this like it's gonna matter. This is one of the first Super Nintendo games I owned as a kid, though. You always do 2 speed ups and then start working towards your weapons. This actually sucks to play through here. I completely missed the weapons because I wasn't paying attention. Oh, there we go. So double tap, start, and select. So good Super Nintendo handheld. Let's see. Oh, it's one of those handhelds that I would take a small SD card and dedicate it to like one system. You know what I mean? And I could see putting just Nintendo on here or just Super Nintendo on here and making it a dedicated handheld to that. I honestly think I'd just do Super Nintendo. I know I keep going back to that, but I think that's the way to go here. I mean, I couldn't do it like Game Boy stuff. Nah, I'm good. I have verticals for that and original hardware. Little bionic commando action. I like this game, but I always felt it weird getting used to a action game like this and not having a jump button. Anyway, Game Boy Color works great. The D-pad, even just game testing, I can feel the D-pad starting to wear right here. Let's do some Game Boy Advanced. I mean, look, we already know these handhelds run all these older systems, okay? I just go through them because it's not, to me, it's more than just, does it run Super Nintendo? Does it run, you know, PlayStation 1? I want to play the system and get the whole feel of the handheld to see what system, you know, I'm drawn to with this handheld. Because when I look at a handheld or I see a handheld that's already been out or something that's coming out, my first thought when I see them, besides the overall, like, that looks like shit, that looks great, the first thing that comes to mind is a system I want to play on it. So I'm always like, man, I really want to run through like Game Boy Color on this, you know? Or shit, that looks really great for PlayStation. So when I'm looking at these handhelds, I know they're going to play all these systems, but I don't know if I'm going to like Game Boy on this. I don't know if I'm going to like PlayStation on this. I want to play it a little bit, hold it in my hands, and see if I like the feel of it matched with that system or console. And then that'll determine whether I actually like it or play on it for a while or not. No hotkeys set up. story. Come on. Go forth. Can I not go forth? Looks like the FPS meter stays. Oh, I was looking somewhere else. So yeah, I mean, I don't like Game Boy Advance on it. Got little black bars top and bottom. So the Game Boys, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, not a fan on this particular handheld. I don't like the way they're running. I mean, they run fine. I don't like that system paired with this handheld. It doesn't feel right. I mean, it's all obviously playable, but not really. Did I miss a file or some shit? Yep, I did. Okay. The hell with that. Let's see if Neo Geo Pocket will run. Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay, there's the button. Okay, I get it. Merciless ass. Oh man, are any of you old enough to remember the ski free game on the like Windows 98? I doubt it, but that kind of reminds me of ski free. Oh my god, that game got me through so many classes back in those days. All right, let's finish this off with some PlayStation. Okay, no BIOS, but it still should run. It's just gonna, compatibility bullshit, and it might run like shit without the BIOS, which I've hardly ever noticed. Come on, focus up, not on me. I mean, even looking at this, I'm sitting there thinking, would it be better with like some Etsy PlayStation buttons? No. Honestly, this feels like it's, even though it's place or PSP looking, it feels like it's meant for Super Nintendo. I'm serious about that. Nope, I'll have to map that. It's great that all the Game Boys and Nintendo and Super Nintendo and all that already recognize or already have that stick mapped. Die, monster. Well, why you up in my house, bitch? Get out. Trespassing ass motherfucker. Anyway, PlayStation, run fine. So, like I said, that's how I look at handhelds, guys. When I look at them, I feel like they're geared towards a specific system, and that's what I want to play on it. And I know, all of them are like 50,000 games, but let's be real. I mean, I don't want to play every single console or system on one handheld. I like to switch it up, That's why there's handhelds like the SP or the 34XX looking like the Advance, because those systems are probably going to be more comfortable on a handheld that mimics or recreates the old school hardware, things like that. So to me, it's more than just will it run this, because we know all the handhelds to date are going to run all the Game Boys, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, all that shit. We know. So yeah, all in all, do I recommend this? Not for $80. Never for 80. Never. No, not for $80. This is not an 80. This is a $40 to $50 handheld. Okay? That's it. The plastic, and let me be clear when I talk about stuff like this, and I was in comments telling someone this the other day, and this is not like a jab at you in any way. I just realized I probably needed to explain myself a little better. I have a lot of nerve damage in my hands. Okay? So when I feel plastic or buttons or, you know, sticks, when I say I don't like the feel of it, or it feels cheap, or it feels like this, that could be a night and day difference to you. Okay? I have a lot of problems with my hands. Ergonomics are big to me. You know, things feel weird. There's a lot of time throughout my day, well, hell, most of the day, I can't feel my hands at all. You could crush them with a hammer and I'd just stare at you blankly. So, it's just the way it is with me. All right? And if all you cared about was this on this video, go ahead and step away now, because I'm going to talk about channel business for a second. All right? I'm giving you your time. Not worth it for the RK2023. Don't pay more than $40-50 for it. I really feel like it's more geared towards Super Nintendo. Speakers are not bad. They're nothing to write home about. They're not the most amazing. They're not the worst. Runs fine. The screen is your typical ass Pal Kitty 4x3 screen there. Buttons, they click, they press, they work. They're not super comfortable, but they're not uncomfortable. The handheld's not great, but it's not awful. The D-pad sucks. Okay, move on, because the rest of this is for subs, channel business. I just want to discuss something real quick. Okay, your time's up. I'm going on with it. So, my last video. Okay, first comment on it, and you can see I've pinned something mentioning it. This person who was a sub gets on there, and all he did was like flat out attack me about having a problem with ports being shipped on a handheld. And he started off with, you need to stop this bullshit because there's no copyright laws at all in China. Well, there actually are, dumbass. So, good job there. And then when I responded explaining to him that I'm sticking up for the smaller creators here that deserve, you know, to get paid for their creations, like Stardew Valley, and we should be sticking up for them. And whether it's coming from China or whatever, whether they have copyright laws or any of that, we, as the consumer, should also be sticking up for these people. Because all we're going to do is kill off the indie game industry, because why the fuck would they spend their time creating these games when everything's just going to get pirated? They're not going to make shit, and, you know, whatever. You might get some small indie games for people that just want to get something out there. But to the people that this is their dream, this is what they want to do, and they want to make it a living, they can't any longer because they're just getting free copies from everybody. Okay, so I pretty much said that, probably a little harsher. His response was, your mother. So naturally, when I got that response, I assumed this was a 12-year-old child. Which, you know, be careful here. So, yeah, I deleted that shit, you know, and you could see in there that I asked him to unsub. So with that being said, I love every one of you, okay? The Legion's growing. We're over 400 now. I love every single one of you. Thank you. I'm very thankful for all of you that take your time to watch my videos. Let's talk about something, though. No matter what, in each one of my videos, you're going to get my opinion. You're going to get my take, my review, and you're going to get it my way. If you don't like it, unsub and leave. I will bring this channel back down to one fucking sub. I don't care. Nothing changes me. You will always get this. This is not a gimmick. It's not for show. If you met me in real life, you're getting this same type of treatment. I am who I am. If I say something shit, it's because I generally think it's shit. If I think it's amazing, fuck, dude, it's amazing to me. Right? Vegan? Because I like the A30? Sorry, I got a good laugh at that the other day, because I am probably one of the only people on here that actually like the Miyu A30. But I'm serious. I'm forever going to be like that. And my views on things, like people shipping ports like, you know, Super Meat Boy, Stardew Valley, Balatro, already preloaded. I get that's a benefit to people that can't afford those games and want to play them. But it's not good for those people. Now, and I won't say it's necessarily a stance on piracy. Come on, guys, look what my channel is about. It's a stance on specific piracy, I guess. Okay? Like, these older games, that would be long forgotten without emulation. The creators of those have no way to see any money for it anymore. Like they're not being sold places. If you go out and buy a hard copy of an old Game Boy game, the resale shop that you just got it from is the only one making money. None of that money goes back to the people that made it. So I don't really care about that. But games like Stardew and all that you can get on Steam, and even just a portion of that money goes to the creator, that's where we should be getting them, especially if they're good enough to deserve your money. And Stardew, to me, is. I've played hundreds of hours of that game with my wife and kids. Absolutely deserves my money every time. So, but I will never change that about this channel. I'm gonna keep doing it this way. Hopefully the quality gets better. Hopefully I figure out editing and my videos look better and I get better equipment over time. Guys, I'm like most people. I work a 9 to 5. I'm struggling to pay bills. It's tough. Okay? I don't have the money to get better equipment right now. Maybe one day. But right now, that shit ain't happening. I mean, last time they did a financial analysis on me, I'm making like negative $200 a month. In other words, I'm fucking in the hole $200 a month after all my bills. So I got to hustle every day of my life to keep that up. Also, when I make a remark on a video and say something like, you should kick him in the nuts, that's just me. I don't literally mean go do that. Okay? Obviously, and I really don't think any of you are going to fucking buy a plane ticket, fly overseas, find the guy that sent a video about like the Miyu hinge and kick his balls up into his throat. I really don't think you're going to do that. If you did, I'm laughing my ass off. I'm not feeling bad about it. But that's just me. I say shit like that. I probably grew up in a different era. I'm not very PC, and I'm not sorry for it. Okay? I have lived a rough life. I promise you it's rougher than most people you know. Okay? My upbringing was tough. I am lucky to be alive today. It shows in the way I talk and the things I say, and I'm not changing that. I can't. Okay? That is just who I am, and I don't want to change it, to be real. I've always been this way. I've always been the type of person, if you don't like me for me, fuck you. I don't need you in my life. You don't matter to me in the long run. I don't care what people think of me that I don't know, because they have no bearing on my life. Okay? And that's just for everybody out there. Now, I know the person we're talking about, the Miyu Flip video, this is also not a jab at you. Okay? I get what you were saying. And sometimes I don't even realize I said something like that. Like, you should beat his ass or whatever. But every time I've said something like that, somebody took it too serious and was on there like, that is just hurtful. I am not sensitive. Okay? I don't really have feelings. All right? That's just how I am. My channel will continue to be this way. And if I never pass 450 or 500 subs, that is what it is. Okay? I used to stream on Twitch a long time ago, and because of how I am, that shit ended horribly. So it took me a lot of years to even want to do anything like this again. All right? And like I said, if I never pass 450, 500, it is what it is. I love my channel. I love the people that do sub and follow, and I'm here for you, and I'll do the best I can. But I'm not going to change my views and how I am for anybody. And then, once again, if this channel drops down to fucking 0 followers, I'm still making videos Monday through Friday. I don't care if anybody's there to watch it. I've done a few live streams already with 0 views, 0 people watching, and I had a fucking blast. I didn't care that anybody was there. The door was open. It's a house party. Step in if you want. All right. All right. That's all for Legion business. Thank you for those of you that stayed to this point. If anybody felt like that was a personal attack, stop being so fucking sensitive, okay? I just wanted to air it out. If I say something offensive in my videos, it was probably meant to be offensive. And if you took offense to it, well, it was probably meant to be offensive towards you. So I'm not going to apologize for something I meant to say. You know what I mean? It's like telling someone to go fuck themselves and then apologizing for hurting their feelings. No, you meant to do it. Don't apologize for it. That was intentional. So, all right, guys. I believe I have a couple more handhelds showing up today. Got some older stuff. Like I said, I got some real older stuff. I'm actually excited about the older shit I have that's showing up. I've always wanted one of these handhelds because I know they're fucking terrible. And I got it for like under 20 bucks. It's insane. I can't wait to show it to you guys. Really excited for that. One of those should be coming in today. Hopefully, because I want to do that video so bad this week. But yeah, hit me up in the comments, man. Let me know what you guys think. Do any of you have an RK2023? I hope not, because this was a horrific waste of money. This was like e-waste for 80 bucks, man. So if you do, I don't know, just throw Super Nintendo on it. Use it as a pocket Super Nintendo only. Limit your games on there and see if you get more playtime out of it. And I really do kind of want to spray paint this. I really do. I mean, it's my sponsors. I wonder if he'd be down to do that. Hey, Dub, hit me up and let me know what you think. I know you're watching the video, but do you think we could like take a heat gun? I mean, I know I could take a heat gun and like we'll pull the screen off. We'll get the shell already. And I think we should paint this to look like a little portable Super Nintendo. I mean, I know it's a dust collector on your shelf. It's, you know, but if you want to try some shit like that, let me know. We could also test run it on like a cheap ass handheld first. So, all right, guys, you know what to do, comments and whatnot, and I'll see you in the next episode.